All right, so I'm gonna start off by apologizing because this shop is filthy right now. There's been a lot of work and not a lot of cleaning happening, but got a little thing to show y'all in case y'all need some assistance. We got a 2003 Tahoe Z71 four-wheel drive, and we are going to do a brake job and we are going to do a hub. So depending on which video you're in, you'll be seeing one of those two things. So step number one on either job, we're going to get the vehicle in the air and we're going to get the tires off. So let me get this tire pulled and then we'll take a gander what we got to do. All right, so here we are, we got the tire off. So now the next step is going to be to remove this brake caliper. So if you look back here, we have a T55 is what the two caliper bolts are. So we're gonna go ahead and get these broken loose. If yours are anything like this one, they are gonna be tight as a son of a gun, and that is good. But we're gonna get a big old ratchet on here. We're gonna break these loose. We're gonna get this pulled off, and then you're just gonna work your caliper off and set it up here. All right, so the caliper can be pretty gummy, but you just gotta work it back and forth, back and forth. If you have a pry bar, you can stick it in the top and work it from the bottom to get it loose, but it will pop off there. And once you get to here, we are just gonna take these old pads, check them out. If they're worn down like that, you just eat them. Those are going to be gone. Sweet. And now is a good time. We're going to want to check the rotor. So you can feel it for any grooves or a lip on the edge. So even if you don't have a lip, I still recommend pulling your rotor off and taking it to the auto parts store and getting it turned. It could be warped. You can't tell that. So it's good practice to turn them every time, no matter what. But if you're on a tight budget, I get it. You can still feel it. Just make sure it's not grooved or torn. But we're gonna get these off. I turn them every single time if they have enough meat left. If not, obviously got to replace it. So in order to get your rotor off, what you're gonna want to do is take off these 18 millimeters. You got one here and one here. So we will break these loose on the backside, and this bracket will come right off, and then we'll be ready to slide off the rotor. All right, and here you are. So we got the rotor off and everything, caliper brackets off, everything's good to go. So while the rotor's getting turned, if you have a keen eye, you'll notice I already tore this passenger side apart, so I just walked over here to speed up recording. But now we're going to clean this up a little bit here, and we'll pick that up whenever I do it, and we'll be good to go. All right, here I am putting this caliper bracket back on. I realized I forgot to mention this on the other side because I didn't take it off. Whenever you put it back on, make sure you clean the bolts and put some fresh Loctite on them, and then get it nice and tight. Also, if you don't want to deal with the rotor falling around, banging into stuff, you can just put one lug nut on. It will hold it in place like a set screw. Just remember to take that off before you put the tire on. Obviously, you're gonna have problems. But yeah, well, there's that. All right, I apologize. This rain is absolutely coming down out here, so I know it's loud, but all right, so earlier you heard me say that I always like to get these rotors turned even if they're smooth like this one. In the case of this particular truck, the customer is running low on money. We've done a bunch of other jobs. I get it. Parts are expensive. Inflation sucks right now. So we're trying to save money where we can. So we're not getting these turned. The brake pads that came didn't even come with these clips, unfortunately. And so we're going to reuse these, but we're going to clean them up. Yours should come. The ones I have linked will have clips, and any normal pair does. So we're gonna hit everything with brake cleaner and get it as cleaned up as we can, right? Just douse it all, clean it up, and then once I'm satisfied with how clean we have everything, we're gonna put a little bit of grease on these humps where the brake pads go in, and then we can slap our new pads in, and we'll work on depressing the caliper, which I have a really fancy tool. I can't wait to show you. So give me 1 second, let me clean this up, and then we'll take a look at that. The rain continues. So for depressing the caliper, I actually decided to do this before I put the pads in, just so I don't knock them out. Make sure you have the cap off of your brake fluid reservoir, and check this bad boy out. This is a brake caliper ratcheting tool. So this thing is super slick. I'll put a link to this up in the video. But yeah, you basically just put it in place, and it has these little adapters that are in it right now to make it bigger if you need bigger, and they have smaller pads. So if you do more than like one brake job every so often, I can't recommend this enough. It's like 15 bucks, but they are freaking awesome, man. So I'll show you how it works, or I'll try to. So if you get it in position and then you just ratchet it like a normal ratchet. Hold on. I don't have enough hands for this, but hopefully I'm not wrong. Yeah, you can do like this number right here, and it will run your caliper. You probably can't hear anything I said, but you just ratchet it like a ratchet. It'll press your pistons all the way back in. You flip that little switch, and then it will loosen, and voila, out she comes. Simple as that. No more C-clamps, no more trying to use the old brake pads. These things are worth every freaking penny, man. So I'm gonna press these back in, and then we'll get our grease and our brake pads in and get this put back together. All right, it is still pouring down out there, but here we are on the final steps. I already got the first caliper bolt up. This is the last thing you need to do. Make sure you clean and re-grease your calipers. So I'm gonna wipe this off with a paper towel and spray it with some brake cleaner, and then we'll put some fresh grease on there and reinsert, and then we'll get them nice and tight, and we are good to go on the brakes. Make sure you pump your brakes up. Obviously put your cap back on. You shouldn't have a puddle of brake fluid like that. Whoever did the brake job on this previously was pretty absurd. The rear brakes had the wrong pads on them, hammered into place. The caliper on the other passenger side was loose and missing a bolt bouncing around on the wheel. There was chaos on this thing, but we're getting it all back together here, and hopefully she'll drive down the road nicely. All right, there we are, all buttoned up. No more crunchy grindy, no more worn out brake pads. So if this video helped you out, hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more stuff in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Got that Apache, a Bentley, an old Mercedes all getting worked on. Plenty of repair videos. And yeah, thanks for watching.